Welcome back, sci-fi fans, to the Science Fictionary Podcast. I'm Andrew, and starting us off tonight, this is kind of our new thing. This is it may or may not stay on Tuesday night, depending on when I can get the most people to involved. But we're this is going to be our new Tuesday night hangout. It's going to be a little bit of a free for all topic wise. Tonight, I've got my co-host from the podcast, David, and Spencer joining us tonight. So we'll catch up with them here in just a second. But yeah, this is what we're doing. This is kind of, like I said, a free for all. Lots of links have been sent out. If you want to jump in, send me a message. And if you want to get in on it next time, send me a message. Let's get you into the Discord so that you'll get the link next time we get set to do this. Well, let's just see if we can jump right in with what Nick is saying here.
Oh, yes, this is okay.
So Nick
I saw
says,
the word Muppets, and I'm excited.
Yeah, Nick says Muppets have done The Christmas Carol, Wizard of Oz, Treasure Island, and Star Wars is right up there with those iconic classics. And we're about to have the 50th anniversary. Disney owns both properties. What do y'all think?
Well, first of all, I want to preface by saying, yes, I'm the only one here without a camera. I couldn't find it, so I found just a really nice picture to fill in for now. Sorry about that. But those who are podcast listeners are used to just hearing my voice anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get David a mic. I mean a camera.
It's somewhere. It's in a box somewhere. I moved and I never unpacked it. And it's
okay. Well, we gotta, now that you're moved and settled in, and it's been a while since you got married. We got to get you on the YouTube stuff.
Well, that tells you how long it's been since I've done the YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
is that I've been in this house for like 2 years now, and I'm like, oh, I never. Anyway, Muppets.
But especially with me ramping up the YouTube stuff, and Spencer, I'll throw the same invite to you that everybody in the Red 5 Network has. If you see me covering a topic and you want to get in on it, send me a message. Jump in. We will always make room to get you in here. So Muppet Star Wars.
Well, I often make fan casts in my Google Docs of like, what Muppet would play this character in these movies. I actually haven't done, just for fun, and I actually haven't done one for Star Wars yet. If I didn't know any better, if you had put a gun to my head, I would have been like, of course they already did Star Wars. They obviously did that, because I have this image in my head of like Kermit wearing a Jedi robe, but that might just be like my brain conjured that because it seems so obvious. But no, they have not done that. And I would love to see that. So the real question is like, which Muppet plays which characters?
Yeah.
I think it's a good possibility that we get like a Muppets A New Hope.
I mean, look, we just got a return to the Muppet Show. And here's the thing. I don't even think we need to do like a whole Muppet movie necessarily. I think that the new episode, I want to hear what y'all thought about this if you watched it. The new pilot for the Muppet Show.
The new Muppet Show, yeah, I saw it. It was really, really great. It was
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, obviously that's not, it's a kid's show first. It's Sabrina Carpenter's not necessarily the first name that comes to mind if I'm looking for a guest to relaunch the Muppet Show, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, she was great. And I think that Seth Rogen was funny in the two things he was on. I hope they don't do that every episode. Like, I hope you don't need to see Seth Rogen in every episode. We get it. You did it. That's funny. Going forward, let's just have just whatever celebrity is the guest doing it. But that was my only complaint, was like, okay, Seth Rogen. But I got to give him credit. He made it. Like, he made it happen. He deserves a little shine in the spotlight. As for Sabrina Carpenter, she was great. I actually went to a Sabrina Carpenter concert end of last year with my wife. My wife's a huge fan, and I've become a big fan too, because it was a really, really great show. So I could tell. So we go to that, And leaving that concert, I was like, she is a showman through and through. So I think she's actually going to be really great on the Muppets and fit in well. And obviously, she had great chemistry with Miss Piggy. So she was awesome. I've already made a dream guest list.
I did. I saw your guest list. It's pretty solid because I thought about adding to it, and I was like, I think you added most of the people that I would have really wanted to see on the Muppet. I think you added a lot of the ones that immediately came to mind for me were already on your list.
Right. And so I'm praying that we get a full season and we get to have these dream celebrity guests and get a real Muppet Show return. So I'm glad they're doing something with that.
They did a good job. I mean, Muppets has been pretty criminally underused for a while now. They did that Muppets Mayhem show, which I thought was fantastic.
It was.
But they had Adam Goldberg did that. And he actually pitched like he wanted to come back and make more series that were sort of all tied together. But they shut that down apparently. But Nick had a point here, and I think he's right. Muppet Babies, I seem to have a memory somewhere of some of the characters as Muppet Babies in the costumes. But also, Mark Hamill was on the Muppet Show.
Yeah. You know, I watched that episode like only a couple years ago because me and my wife were watching just some of the most notable episodes of the show. So maybe they did something with that hit that in my brain. I don't know, but I remember that.
Yeah. So what would you like to see if Star Wars and Muppets, if the Muppets did something for the Star Wars anniversary? What would you like to see, Spencer? Would you like to see a movie or an episode of the Muppet Show bringing on some of the actors? What kind of project would you like to see?
I mean, I thought they did a fun job with the Haunted Mansion special that they did a couple years ago.
They did.
So
that was good.
Something in that fashion, sort of like a special like that, I think would work. And so I don't know. I think something like that would work out.
I would quite like that. It just needs to be 30 minutes, 40 minutes of a retelling of A New Hope. Just the most notable scenes you want to do. The question is if you redo New Hope, it's what actors can you bring back? Do you just do all Muppets? Because the fun part about the Muppets is the combination of one of the fun parts is the combination of the Muppets and the actors. Obviously, though, you can't have Mark Hamill come back and just refilm the scenes of him as Luke Skywalker, but now it's the Muppets are there instead. So I guess you do just for that, you do actually recast a lot of them as Muppets. The obvious thing is Kermit as Luke, but I don't always like doing that. I like when Kermit's not necessarily the protagonist. I like when he's kind of the sort of maybe one of the side characters or an important character in it, but then Gonzo or something. No,
well, that's when you go against type and you make Fozzie Luke.
That's you make Fozzie Luke. I was thinking Fozzie is Chewie, but that's a little obvious. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do Fozzie as Chewie.
I think you do Fozzie as either Luke or Han.
Fozzie is Luke or that's funny. Fozzie or Luke as Han is good. Obi Gonzo Kenobi would be really good.
Now I do remember. I'm pretty sure on the Muppet Show with Mark Hamill, did he played Darth Vader? Correct.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
I tell you, who would be a great guest for this, as far as Star Wars actors more recent, would be the kids from Skeleton Crew.
Oh, that'd be fun.
There's no way. There's no way they do that. It's more likely we get Pedro Pascal promoting.
I would say Pedro, or at this point, the big thing coming up is not Mandalorian and Grogu, though. It's Starfighter.
Yeah, so Ryan Gosling.
Maybe you bring in Ryan Gosling.
Who is almost a human Muppet. He is so incredible. And everything he does, he's such a showman that would actually be really, really, really funny. I'd love to see that. That's a great answer. I need to add it to my dream guest list. And then you promote Starfighter, and then on there, just even if they just do a couple Star Wars skits, I'd love to see Sam Eagle as an Imperial officer, for example. Like there's so many little jokes you can do that I want to see. Hello,
Alan. I hadn't seen Alan in a while. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, no, I think there's some fun stuff they could do with a Muppets and Star Wars crossover, and I think there's a lot of options for what you can do there. I mean, like you said, probably I think a 30-minute retelling of A New Hope, or either that or a 30-minute retelling of the original trilogy.
oh yeah, I'd
Just,
quite like to see Revenge of the Sith as well.
I was about to say, I'd like to see that somewhere.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think about how the Mustafar fight would look in
Exactly.
Muppets.
Well, who's Obi-Wan
Right.
and who's Anakin? I feel like Anakin is okay. I was gonna say Gonzo because I can imagine like no, you have Obi Gonzo Kenobi, so you have Gonzo there, and then Anakin is like Rizzo the Rat.
Oh my god!
They're best friends. They're the Christmas Carol reunion. Oh, that's actually that's the pitch.
Yeah.
That's the
I mean,
pitch.
like I said, I think there's a lot of fun options here if they wanted to do something. And I hope we see some fun stuff like that leading into the 50th anniversary of A New Hope. And, I really felt like the last kind of big back when we did the 40th, I felt like a lot of stuff. I felt like it was very underwhelming, the amount of special stuff we got at that point. I know they were still leaning very hard into the sequel stuff at that point, and maybe they didn't want to like overshadow anything. And they've always seemed to be a little afraid of the original trilogy overshadowing what they're currently doing, which is why they've waited so long to put original trilogy into the park, which was a huge mistake from the get-go. I mean, I never understood this. I understood the idea we want it to be this immersive Star Wars world, but I never understood you at the parks, at Disney parks. I mean, you have all of these different characters that aren't allowed to interact in the park. They stay in their own areas. You could have always done that with the Star Wars land, and it would have been just fine. So I don't understand why they didn't. Let's see. Thursday Night Fright says Anakin would have to be Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear's getting a lot of love tonight. But yeah, so I
Here's
do
the thing
wonder.
Here's the thing about casting Muppets is you can say any combination of Star Wars character and Muppet, and I'm gonna laugh. There were sequels. Yeah, that's what a fumble. What an incredible fumble with the parks to make it like no, it's Galaxy's Edge, and it's this. What was the name of the planet that you're technically on the whole time? I don't even remember.
I don't remember
Because it's not from the movies. It's just they made it up.
It's from an obscure book.
Yeah, and it's like it's an outpost there, and it's no one cares, dude. But then they try to. I played the interactive games there. I've been there a couple times, and they don't work, and they don't. And then when they do work, it's just like scan this barcode with your phone, and you go okay, and then you get like a thumbs up, like great job, you helped the rebellion. And they're like okay, so then you complete the whole thing, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get like. Maybe I complete the whole thing and then bring it to the stand and they give me a badge or something. No, you complete the whole thing, which is just going to different spots, scanning barcodes. I'm bounty hunting. By scanning the barcode, I discovered that I captured this wanted criminal. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna get a badge. No, they just go, great job. Thanks. And then there's a play again button.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole like immersive thing. It's just a fumble when just do.
Well, there's a lot of talk now that some of those rides are getting a little bit of a reimagining. I went the year before they opened it, and I haven't been back since.
Listen, Rise of the Resistance is an incredible ride.
Although
did blow my
I hear
mind.
that my dad says the queue for Rise of the Resistance is the best part.
Yeah, it's a cool walk. Is he being sarcastic as it takes so long, or is he like
No,
genuinely
he's like
walking
talking
through
about
it's
all
really
the
cool?
stuff you walk through and get to look at.
Oh
and
yes,
see.
no, actually yes. Because because the whole scene where you walk in and it's all the Imperials walking around and stuff like that. That's technically the queue line. The ride hasn't even
Right.
started yet. So yes, that is the best part. And then you very awkwardly walk past that, and everyone's in character. It's like, okay, for the next part of your tour, please sit in this automated pod. It's like, okay, and then the resistance is attacking, and then it just becomes basically the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror ride, where it's like you're going up and down and stuff like that, while you get random glimpses of like BB-8 electrocuting something. So yeah, your dad's right. Actually, the part that I'm thinking that's so cool, it's the queue line.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it have been cooler if just like it would have been cooler if the whole Millennium Falcon thing didn't force this story down my throat of like, oh, you're going on a scavenger run for the Resistance, and here are these characters, and it's in the sequel era. Like, how about I'm just on the Millennium Falcon going through different planets and stuff like that? Like, why are you trying so hard, man? Just relax.
Yeah, I think that's
my
specifically the
opinion.
ride. The Millennium Falcon specifically is the one that I've heard is getting a rework.
Yeah. Now, my biggest problem with the Millennium Falcon ride, this just comes from like a fan of theme parks, is that you have a job to do. You can be the pilot, you can be the engineer, you can be the gunner. And the pilot gets to literally steer it, and the gunner gets to shoot things. But then they're like, the engineer, you press this button when it lights up, and you're deploying the cargo hook. And every time I've done that ride, I get stuck as the engineer, and it's so lame. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's just where, because the workers are like, okay, engineer, like, okay, like, you got to come up with something more fun to do. I wish they had. That's just from a ride standpoint. Other than that, I just, the ride is great. It was really mind blowing to do it. I love the scenery. I think the whole story of it being set in the sequels is so forced, and now so incredibly more dated than if they had just based it on something from 50 years ago rather than right now. It would actually be more timeless if you had done the older stuff.
Yeah.
Which you didn't have to do any of that at all. You didn't have, you could just be, you're on a planet with Star Wars planet, and here's the Millennium Falcon, and here's all this cool stuff to look at.
I mean, that's all cool too, but like, I mean, honestly, I wish they would do kind of like the old Star Tours and give you a couple of different possible missions, because there are things like the run on the second Death Star that would be incredible.
Oh yeah.
That's a great point. Just do a couple different missions, and you get to do these fun things.
What if you get to play in like the big opening battle from Revenge of the Sith to represent the prequels?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 the other day. Classic, not the new one. I was playing the classic. And
that Star Wars game.
Yeah, I like Force Unleashed. I'm a Force Unleashed man. I think
too,
that is as far as shooters though. That's the best we ever got.
Yeah, I love that game, and I was just playing the other day for fun while I was like, hanging out with some friends, and the Anakin ship is one of the little ships on the space battle ones, the yellow with R2-D2 on the side, and it's really not good to use. It's actually like the worst one you can choose in those space battles, but it's a lot of fun. I still did it anyway. Pod racing. We need a pod racing.
We are getting
it. Did you see that? Have you hadn't seen the trailer for Galactic Racing?
Ride. We need a pod racing ride.
Oh, a ride.
Oh, yeah. I love that old like Phantom Menace arcade game. That is like the actual pod racing.
Yeah.
But
you're right. A ride would be incredible.
I mean, we can sit here and talk forever. Like, they should really have done this.
Well, it's easy to say that. I don't think that everything they did was a terrible concept. I think they just limited themselves too much.
I agree. They limited themselves, and then they had to change a lot of things. Where they had characters running around, and Rey was running around and stuff, but then they like had to change that because it turns out that's not really feasible for a park with thousands and thousands and thousands of people there at a time. to have one Ray running around interacting with people. So they just stopped doing that entirely. Now sometimes droids come out and the people who pilot the droids are like hiding in a bush somewhere. But I've had a good time every time I've gone. I've been a few times now, and I have a good time. It is fun. I used to be sad that I never experienced the hotel, but I watched the like 6-hour long documentary that someone on YouTube made about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. Okay. It's fine.
No, that was kind of tragic. I mean, they botched that all the way around.
That's even worse example of like forcing, like, okay, you're in the Resistance era and you're on a ship and you're there and it's Resistance time and Rey's gonna show up and Kylo Ren's gonna show up, and it's like, chill out, dude. Like, we're just all trying to have a good time. And yeah, they fumbled that. It insanely priced for this very weird experience that didn't work half the time, and it's no wonder that it failed. All the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
There's one good thing that Disney World has done that I've seen lately, and that's they are converting Rock and Roller Coaster to a Muppets Mayhem ride.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Electric Mayhem. Because whatever deal they have with Aerosmith finally expired.
Okay.
So it's going to be an Electric Mayhem ride, which is some sort of penance after they killed Muppets Vision 3D.
Right.
Hey, at least we're getting more Muppets in some way.
Yeah.
In some way. And then all that Muppets Vision 3D stuff like won on a huge auction recently and sold to a lot of private owners. So that's
the thing about Muppet Vision was it was dated. I mean, we did that last time I was there. And it was dated, and it was noticeably dated, but it was also one of the last things that Jim Henson had direct contact with regarding Muppets before he passed. So at that same time, it was like, sort of a racing and an important touchstone.
Yeah. And I still had a good time every time doing it. Yes, it was dated, but you could have just worked on it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think they could have updated it.
But it's real sad. I did get to see it like on my honeymoon. We went, and that was like right before they closed it, I think, or like very soon before they closed it. So
yeah. So Nick says if they had made it Tatooine, they could have had it in the Disney era, and still had pod racing rides, still had the Mos Eisley Cantina, and would have made all three eras present. Yeah, I mean, Tatooine is obviously it's a planet that they love to go back to.
all three eras.
Yeah, so I don't know why.
And dude, you could do it where, for a little while it's in this era, and then you just do a little bit of a paint job, and then for this period of time, for these few months, it's going to be in the prequels era, then in the sequels, then in the original trilogy. You could mix it up.
Yeah.
Sam Eagle as Ben Kenobi.
I like that.
That's, again, like I said a minute ago, where it's like, you can tell me any Muppet as any character, and I like it, but I just can't get this. I can't get this image of Sam Eagle as Grand Admiral Tarkin out of my head.
Yeah, no, he'd be a great Tarkin.
And then Gonzo is a great choice for Luke. Gonzo's my favorite Muppet, and he's always my favorite choice for like playing the main character, while Kermit gets to kind of be off to the side a little bit. I think the obvious choice is Kermit as Han Solo and Fozzie Bear as Chewbacca.
Right.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
But you don't want to do the obvious things.
Exactly.
I did watch a video recently on like recasting Lord of the Rings as Muppets characters, and they casted Fozzie as Gimli, and I really like that a lot. He is kind of the comedic relief.
True. Yeah, I wish we would get more Muppet stuff. In fact, we often talk about, one of the ones that comes up all the time that for some reason people want to remake is Princess Bride. and every time I see that come up, I say the only way that I will excuse that is if you do it as a Muppets movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner. Shout out, Rob Reiner. Princess Bride is the greatest movie ever made. And I agree. There's no need to ever remake it. But unless they do, the Muppets. I mean, you got the obvious Miss Piggy as Buttercup. And so then with Piggy as Buttercup, do you do Kermit as the Dread Pirate Roberts? I think you have to. Their love story together. Yeah, I would love to see that. I'd love to see all Muppets do more things. My dream is Muppets Oppenheimer. I've wanted that ever since. I have this wonderful image in my mind's eye of Kermit in the fedora and the trench coat, talking about I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Speaking of Kermit, one of the biggest complaints with modern Muppets right now is the voice.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I have a friend who's like, I can't watch it, dude. I can't do it. I can't get past the voice. What do you think about the current voice of Kermit? Because for me, I hated it until he started singing. During that duet with Sabrina Carpenter, it started to click for me a little bit. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's all like, there's no question that that Piggy and Kermit both sound off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I guess it's one of those things that's like, okay, so do we just not do Muppets anymore? I mean, to be honest, nobody has sounded exactly right since Jim Henson died.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back and watch, the older stuff, when it's Frank and Jim, it's very distinct. And I think you got to give the voice actors a little bit of room to kind of make it their own just a little bit and still be recognizable as the character, instead of them just trying to do a Jim Henson impression. Nobody's ever really pulled it off exactly. And every once in a while, you'll find an actor that does a great Kermit the Frog impression, but they're not the kind of actors that are going to like stick around as a Muppeteer for a decade. We want people that are going to come play this role and stay and be part of it for a while.
That's a good point. I hadn't really considered that, because there are plenty of actors that do great Kermit impressions. But
There are.
You need somebody who's going to commit to being the Kermit.
Right. I don't want to not be able to make a Muppet movie because our big star that comes in every once in a while does a Kermit voiceover is busy on some other big project. Right. Like, I want somebody that's there and they're part of the Muppet the group. And the part of the success of Muppets has been that the people who've come and played these characters, they stick around, they stay a long time, they build a great repertoire together. I mean, they're a comedy group, they're a comedy troupe. They much in the way big theater companies work, where you have these same people that work within the theater for 10, 15 years, and they get to where they work so well together. And so I want to maintain that. And so I think because of that, you have to just be willing to give a little grace to the actors that are filling these roles.
I agree.
All right, you won me over. I was a lot more. I was genuinely, about 2 minutes ago, a lot more critical.
Well, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like, when we first turned on that Muppet show, I was like, yep, Kermit sounds wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then Piggy comes in and said, Piggy sounds wrong. Now, I don't know who's doing Rolf, and it may be somebody that's been there a while, but Rolf sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
So did a lot of the other characters. Every once in a while you get one that's off, but it's hard to know because there's still some of the people that have been there a long time are still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always hard to know for sure. And we lost David. I'll give him a...
Uh-oh.
And he's back.
For a second. Oh, no, I don't know what happened. Oh, a Deadpool Muppets crossover. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. You say Muppets anything, and it's going to work for me. Name a movie. Name any movie. Anything.
Uh,
I know.
how about The Martian?
Yes, the Muppets Martian. That's great. And it's
Who do you want to see going insane?
yeah, who do I want to see alone talking to themselves? Fozzie Bear. Actually, Fozzie Bear is the right answer. Alone on the planet, walking to himself, very sad. So anything works with Muppets to me. I want more Muppets all the time. It doesn't matter how much Muppets we get. I'm going to say we need more Muppets.
So Nick says Gonzo was Vader in the Muppet Babies. So I guess all of the images in my head of Muppets in character, Star Wars character, I guess were all from Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I was looking up a picture of it a moment ago. We were first talking about it.
Wow, Travis. Oh.
I disagree. Well, I don't know how far I want to take this conversation. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
So nope. I'm not doing it. You win. I was ready to defend Muppet Schindler's List, but you know what? I'm gonna concede. Just avoid having to say some of the thoughts I'm having of like, well, you could do this. Because I don't want to.
Probably a safe route to go.
Yeah, I don't want to leave. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Nope. Stop. I gotta zip my lips right now.
All right. Well, let's shift gears from the Muppet conversation. One of the things I wanted to talk about. Great to have Spencer here to talk about this with, and David. We haven't done an episode of the audio show in a little while. Since right after we did one right after Fan Expo New Orleans. So we need to do another one. But one of the things we really didn't get a chance to talk about was what movies are you like? If you picked 3 movies coming up this year, like which 3 are you most excited about?
I'll tell you the one I'm most excited about that a lot of people hasn't been saying is their number one. And it's a movie that I'm very glad we're getting, as it almost didn't happen, and that is Coyote vs. Acme.
Yeah.
And so that's been my number one going into the year. It's still my number one just on the pure basis of I love the story idea. I think it was something very creative, and hearing that those test screenings went so well, even making people cry, it's just like it's a movie we deserve to see, and it's honestly stupid that we had to fight for it, but the fact we're just getting it is just amazing, and I am so excited to for it to be a reality, and I'm going to be there to support it. And if it's as great as it could potentially be, I could see myself going multiple times to go see it.
So it is getting a theatrical release?
Yeah, late August, I believe.
Okay.
So, is it Ketchup Studios or something like that?
Yeah, Ketchup Entertainment.
Ketchup Entertainment. Yeah, and they also got released the one that came out, might have been 2 years ago now.
1 year ago, Looney Tunes: The Day the Earth Blew Up.
That's right.
That was one
really,
of my favorite movies of last year.
That was hilarious. Me and my friends that went to see it, we still make jokes about Farmer Jim. That was a really, really great movie. So as soon as that ended, I was like, please, we need that over. And then so the same studio stepped in and they're making it happen. I agree. I am over the moon about that, and I will be there to support. That's one of those things where, like, even if I didn't care about Looney Tunes, it's like, well, I got to go see this movie because it's just a miracle that we're getting to see it. Mm-hmm. Despite David Zaslav, we actually get to see this movie. So it's like, as a fan of movies, you got to go see this one.
See, I actually missed this news. I thought that it was still on a shelf.
It happened shortly after when the Day of Earth blew up. It made all these negotiations are happening because that movie did just enough, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Again, shout out Ketchup Entertainment for
saving the bucks for it. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with them because the only thing that I knew that they did previously to these Looney Tune stuff was they did Hellboy, the Crooked Man, I think it was called. And I enjoyed that. That was an underrated watch.
Was great. Hellboy, the Crooked Man was great. It's I'd say it's rough around the edges a little bit, but there's a lot of heart that went into making that. Like,
Yeah,
clearly
it's the one Hellboy project too that actually feels a lot like what Hellboy really is in the comics. Don't get me wrong, Del Toro did a great version with his movies, but it doesn't feel like what Hellboy is in the comics, despite those still being great movies. And so uh, that one really showed like it's the essence of what Hellboy actually is, which I really appreciated.
I 100% agree with you. It's a great. I do recommend. I think you can watch it for free on like Tubi or something right now.
Where did I watch it?
Like it's easy. It's like it's not huge budget, so a lot of like the special effects and stuff aren't the greatest. But you're right, like the feeling, the tone, and the storytelling.
It's on Hulu. So
it's on Hulu there. Okay. Yeah, I recommend that. As for another movie, not sticking in the animated world, I am very much looking forward to the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I really, really liked the Super Mario movie that we got a couple years ago now, and I'm really glad like they're doing Galaxy, and there's so many directions it could go. I was talking with my friends about it the other day. I was like, they did Donkey Kong too fast and they did Mario Kart too fast all in the first movie, and they're like, well, they've got like a lot to pull from, man. So I think it's actually a good thing that they're hitting the ground running and saying we're gonna give you Mario Kart. Because also they were like, I don't know if we're gonna get another one, so let's do Mario Kart, let's do Donkey Kong, and now Galaxy's the right way to go. And of course, the hope is that this all builds up to a Smash Brothers movie. That's my dream.
We'll see. It blew my mind with that Galaxy trailer how many different games it pulled stuff from. Mario is like one of my favorite ever game series, so I've played more of them than I haven't, and it was just crazy of seeing like they even pulled the Bowser Jr. design for the movie is like from the newest Mario game that just came out like what was it, a year and a half ago, I think, Mario Wonder, and so yeah, really cool.
There seems to be a lot of love that they're putting into it. And I'm hoping we just get we can get a Sunshine movie, eventually an Odyssey movie. Now there's a lot to do before they get to Odyssey, I would say.
But even then, like we're getting the desert world,
right?
Odyssey as well. So it's like they're pulling in so much from the different games and such. So we'll see. I'm excited for it though.
Yeah, there's a lot of love there. And other than that, I mean, there's the obvious answers of
Doomsday.
I
mean, we have some big ones. I mean, we have Spider-Man, we have Doomsday, we have Dune. Is Dune this year or is Dune next year?
Dune's same day as Doomsday.
Okay.
Actually, I just saw news today from somewhere that saying that Dune 3 has the IMAX exclusivity.
Wow.
Yep.
And
for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So only be able to see Dune 3 on IMAX this year before Doomsday. So interesting.
I can live without seeing Doomsday in IMAX, though. It's not going to break my heart. And then we're also getting Mando and Grogu.
Yeah. I will say the new trailer has me more excited for it. I am excited for that.
I'm super excited for it. I mean, I expect it to be, I expect that to be a really, really entertaining movie.
I hope so too. Yeah.
I think it'll be solid. Like I've said pretty repeatedly, it's clearly not going to be the movie that like puts Star Wars back on top of the pile.
Sure.
I think Starfighter could end up being that, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see where that goes. But I still think. I mean, I'm not going to knock a movie with Jon Favreau at the helm before it comes out.
Sure.
I mean, he doesn't, I don't feel like, I mean, it's not that Jon Favreau doesn't get credit, but I don't sometimes think Jon Favreau gets, I don't think a lot of people put him in his rightful place in the hierarchy of like current working directors either.
He's up there as my favorite.
He's pretty great. I think the big thing that really sours the movie is just where Mando season 3 left off on. And I kind of had this like theory and I still stand by it of like, I think Mando season 3 was more of like a Favreau project and where Ahsoka was the Filoni project. And that was kind of why each of the pitfalls of the shows of what happened with each was because the other didn't help as much since they were focused on one or the other.
And
And
I
so,
think they told a story that we needed to fill in season 3. Like I felt like we needed to tell the story of like a return to Mandalore,
yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like the whole that whole third season is like a side quest.
Well, see, the problem for me is like the third season to me, that finale didn't just feel like a season finale, it felt like a series finale. And I think that's where a bunch of the excitement is too, of where it felt like a conclusion. And so now it's like you're having to bring people back on board, which is kind of hard to do with something that's like, sure, we like the characters, but it's like, what else are you going to be doing? And that's why I kind of don't like this, in my opinion, this sort of narrative about the movie where it's like going to be a side quest, but it's like, okay, but the point of it is though, is like they're picking up on what the series at least set up at the end of it, and trying to do that new beginning to potentially have a foundation of something new for Mando and Grogu. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What do they do after this movie? Do they do more movies? Do they go back to another season of the show?
You know,
You got to see. I don't
so
think the
well,
last.
the rumors are that there is that Favreau wrote season 4 and that this movie is not it.
Oh,
But it's like now that they decided to make this movie, like how much does that mess up what he had written for season 4?
Right.
So it's like,
see.
does this movie just override that potential season 4? Personally, I think Favreau probably moves on to something else after this. And I think that this will kind of wrap this character as a standalone character. And then I think that I think that Mando and Grogu kind of, after this movie, kind of get thrown in the Star Wars toy chest, and they'll be there for other directors to pull out along the way somewhere.
If they can have this movie set as like a strong, if they can make it in a way where it's a satisfying conclusion for the character, if we were to never get another solo Mando project, I'd be happy with it. But I don't want to have something left open ended that we're not going to get an answer to.
That's true. I will say, and I don't know. I mean, clearly we have totally different people creating Star Wars stuff now, but I also think back to the EU and how many mysterious endings we were given to characters. So, it kind of makes me wonder, especially with Filoni's involvement, and that he does sometimes kind of harken back to that type of storytelling.
I will say, I'm glad that they're going the DC Studios route in that regard. I think having somebody that could just focus on being that smart, or the storytelling, side, and not having to focus on the business side is really smart. And so,
no, I do too. But I mean, I felt like for a little while everybody was trying to find their Kevin Feige. And the truth is, there's just not a lot of those guys out there that can do that can handle all sides of a machine that big.
right.
And it kind of makes you wonder if some of the fall off in Marvel was that it got so big that
Right.
even Kevin Feige was having trouble handling everything that was happening.
That's what I heard. I was trying to remember what show or what movies, but I remember hearing reports that like they'd send off notes for Feige and then he wouldn't get back till it was like 2 weeks too late to do anything, to change it, and like that was the big problems there. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, this book right here, it's like the unofficial history of the MCU or whatever it is. It's really good. It tells a lot of stories kind of as the MCU really exploded and how much more complicated it became as it really blew up.
I got a hot take. I think that this whole Kevin Feige was just so busy. No, it's not that hard. I don't think it'd be that hard. I could do it. And I think they should, in fact, put me in charge of it. Ask me a question like, hey, like what kind of note would he get? Hey, Kevin, should we ruin the Hulk's character? No. Next one. And
Well,
then we keep going.
they already did that a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I would have just said no, and then we would have been great. But like, I agree. Actually, I did feel like the final season 3 was definitely supposed to like, all right, and then Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, I really don't have any doubt that that's where we were supposed to be heading, was into Rangers of the New Republic. And
Because they were trying to actually do it like those first. Because what are the first couple of shows? You got Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Like they're all tied. Like I think Favreau and Filoni were like kind of trying to do like this one show into the other, and it's different shows, but it's all one big narrative that's kind of on this winding path. It kind of felt like for a little bit, and that kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it did. I think part of the falling apart was that it just, one, having Favreau's involvement. I mean, he's a busy man. Like, he's really too busy as a filmmaker to get too deep in the weeds with managing multiple television shows. And so that was probably a bad idea from the get-go. But I did want to mention, let's see, there was another thing Nick said. Yes, if Mando and Grogu makes the same as James Gunn's Superman, it'll be a success because of his budget. Yeah, right. I mean, that's the really smart thing they did here, was they really kept the budget in check. This movie's gonna make money.
Yeah.
And I think that was real important right now, was that the movie just needs to make money.
That's the thing too, is people just need to understand if it can make that much, it's good enough because of where the movie market is nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, movies are still, I think what people don't realize, if you look at, so in 2015, in fact, we did a whole episode of this on the podcast where we kind of looked at all of the billion-dollar films ever, and then looked at how rapidly that number was increasing leading up to 2020. But then what people don't really realize is that, like, we went from like $1 billion movie was rare to we were pretty much getting at least one every year. And then we hit the point, 2020, everything changes. Well, you're still got movies making $1 billion, but with only half of the viewers.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's the big thing. When you look at the numbers, it appears that for most movies, it just appears for movies across the board, for theaters, there's about half as many people go to the theater as did before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like half of the audience just never came back.
Right.
So,
and it's interesting too, because when people talk about the number game too, it's like they don't talk about all the other aspects of, well, people are now watching these movies, they're streaming now, but then they don't talk about how those streaming numbers can also affect the success of a movie as well. And so I don't know. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
Also, just movies are so incredibly expensive to make that when they talk about like, oh, Infinity War made so much money. It's like, yeah, but that cost so much freaking money. So really, it's a game of percentages. Well, percentage-wise, how much more did it make? Because if you spend, I don't know, $900,000, I don't think that wasn't the budget for Infinity War, but let's say you spend $900 million and then it makes $1 billion. It's like, well, that doesn't. Who cares? If I did that math right, of the point I'm trying to get across. So you were asking like what movies we were excited for. One I haven't got a chance to see it yet was but it already came out. But I am excited to see it. Is Send Help, the new Sam Raimi flick.
I've seen that,
and it's being considered a huge success because it made a good bit of money for the fact that it was like a pretty low budget movie, and they left it in theaters, and it's still in theaters, and people are going to see it consistently, and it's making them money. They didn't pull it out of theaters after a month and put it on streaming already. So you have to go to theaters if you want to see it. And it was a low budget movie, and it's making its money back and then some. That's a real success. That's profit margins, So that's just another thing I wanted to bring up. That's one of the movies I'm excited to see is Send Help. It looks really great. We love Sam Raimi around here. And I got to check that one out.
I mean, there's a few things coming up this year as far as big anniversary movies. That are re-releasing. Harry Potter, is it Sorcerer's Stone that's getting its anniversary release?
Really? I didn't know.
And The Mummy Returns, actually in just a few weeks, is getting its 25th anniversary.
I know I don't know the year of it, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is getting its anniversary release soon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some really cool stuff like that coming up in the theater. I mean, obviously there are the really, really big things that we have coming this year. I think, and it's as far as the big ones, it's like, which one am I most excited for? It's kind of more really which one's next. Because there's,
yeah.
and that's starting this month with Project Hail Mary. Looks fantastic.
I'm actually really excited for both of the movies that's coming out this week. Personally,
Let's see.
there's
What do we
there's
got?
Hoppers from Pixar, which has been getting actually pretty good early reactions,
It has.
and so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm intrigued in watching The Bride from Warner Bros.
Okay.
And so I'm planning on watching both of those Thursday. So I hope that they're both good.
Okay.
Guys, don't forget about Michael,
Michael.
the Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, that's right.
I'm being sarcastic. I don't
Who did that though?
Is it? I have no idea. I'm gonna bet money is whoever made Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's take a look.
I don't remember.
Uh,
I've never cared. too
I was
much
just
about
wondering if
Pixar.
it was a theater thing or a streaming
Yeah,
thing.
it is. It's a full on.
theater. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a full on movie, like in the vein of Bohemian Rhapsody or.
Oh, it was. It's the guy who made Training Day and The Equalizer. This is quite the change for him. He's only made action movies, and now he's making this. The guy who made the Olympus Has Fallen movies, The Equalizer, Training Day, Magnificent Seven,
Okay.
all those movies. He is making. He is making Michael. Oh, and he made Bullet Train.
Oh, I heard that was really good. I needed it.
Bullet Train actually is really great.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No. He didn't. He was just in Bullet Train. He did not direct it, but he had a role in Bullet Train. But anyway, what a weird change of pace for him. I was just making a joke of like because I googled like what are the movies coming out. At first, I'm like Michael, and I'm like, oh,
That's one I want to see, Nick.
Yeah. So that's another kind of one of those that's like, under the radar compared to some of the really big stuff that's coming. But I mean, after Godzilla -1, I mean, I have nothing but high hopes for this one.
Yeah, I think Godzilla -1 was like the best Godzilla movie, and so seeing it get a sequel, I hope it can just live up to at least half of how great that movie is, because it's gonna be like it's gonna be hard for just the greatness of it. But
Yeah.
I'm going in open minded. I'm looking forward.
Other things that are kind of, that are flying a little under the radar as far as like not quite as big as the really big things. I mean, I'm actually really excited for this Mortal Kombat movie.
Yes. I actually really enjoyed the first one that they did.
I did
it was
too,
in 2021,
Mhm.
and so I never understood why they pushed it back from October last year, because I thought it had not much competition then, and it seems like it's
Yeah.
appearing in a place where it's more competition, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see.
When is it? Is it early summer?
It's either late April or early May.
Okay. If it's
April sounds right to me, though.
May 8th. May 8th.
Oh,
May 8th.
okay.
So actually, as far as May, it's really not going to have a tremendous amount of competition.
So you think they're gonna kill off their original character they made in the first one? Just be like, no,
I mean,
it's just Johnny Cage now.
probably the next biggest thing dropping the weekend that Mortal Kombat drops is the Sheep Detectives.
I do want to see that.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be better than the, I'm going to blank on the name of Ryan Johnson's Murder Mysteries.
Knives Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it'll have to be better than Knives Out too, which broke all the rules of how you do a murder mystery.
I haven't got to see Wake Up Dead Man yet. Did you see Wake Up Dead Man?
I have not watched that
Me
one.
neither. I need to.
But it really won't have any competition until the May 22nd when Mandalorian and Grogu drops.
True.
So I think that Mortal Kombat's actually got a pretty good window here to perform because there's nothing really serious dropping the weekend before either. So I suspect it'll drop and probably should lead the way for a couple of weeks.
I'll go see that one. I'll get a couple beers with the boys and go see that one. It's one of those
It'll be a
movies.
fun one. No, I watched that first one several times when it came out because it was on that HBO Max same day thing. So like I went to see it in the theater first, and then I watched it like 2 times at home, and yeah, it was really fun. So if it keeps up the vibe of the first one, I'm there for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was trying to see, man, March 27th has a lot of releases.
March 27th.
Now that's when we get the Mummy Returns 25th anniversary and the Stand By Me 40th anniversary releases. So I'm going to have a busy weekend. It looks like we also get Bambi the Reckoning that weekend, but that's on the Peacock app. And then, but I guess I'll go see 3 movies that weekend because I think that's the weekend. I'm finally going to get to go see a movie that Marisha worked on in the theater. So,
oh, cool.
It's going to be a very small movie, and hopefully it comes to a theater that we can drive to. But it's still pretty cool to get to go see something that she was like the key costumer on. So, let's see.
I'm pulling up the list myself to look at it.
Now, of the really big things that are dropping this year, like, is anybody, I mean, I would say, would y'all agree the 4 biggest are Spider-Man, Doomsday, Dune, and Mandalorian and Grogu?
I would say the
and the Odyssey. The Odyssey
has to be up there.
Yeah, I forgot that that's this year.
I would say of those, I mean, see, like I consider Odyssey bigger than Mando, so I would say the Odyssey would be the one I'm most looking forward to. But if we were to also include Mando, that's also like high up there. Doomsday and Spider-Man, I'm personally worried about, so we'll see. I'm still gonna watch them. I just have hesitations with those movies, so we'll see.
My only real worry with Spider-Man at this point, I don't know that I've seen enough to make me worry. I guess my concern is that we're changing directors.
See, it's the same person who did Shang-Chi, right?
It is. It's Destin Daniel
That
Cretton.
gives me a reason to get excited. I just
Well,
haven't seen a reason to make me personally excited for it as the big thing.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like Destin Daniel Cretton has done an amazing job. Shang-Chi is easily one of the best movies kind of from that part of the MCU.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, did y'all watch Wonder Man?
I watched half of it. I need to get back to it. I just haven't been watching much TV lately.
I haven't got a chance to yet. I'm trying to. I just got into One Piece recently, and the second season of the live action comes out soon, and I'm trying to get through the parts of the anime that it is going to be covering.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, for this TV show that's going to be like 10 episodes, it's going to cover many, 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 many more episodes of this anime that I'm trying to get through before the live action comes out.
So
Alabasta Arc, for those curious.
So the thing about Wonder Man, like I had 0 expectations and it really surprised me. It was one of the more enjoyable things I've watched on TV this year.
I've heard great things.
Yeah. What I saw, I did like. It wasn't me not watching anymore. It was just a me thing of I haven't been watching much recently.
Yeah.
Like I also want to check out. Just came out last week? Monarch season 2 just started. I want to watch that as well.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just have a big list of things that I haven't been going through. It only gets bigger.
Awesome. Let's see. I mean, for me, as excited as I am, and I think Doomsday is going to be amazing. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's going to be great. But the thing that I guess that I'm really probably the most excited for is going to be Dune Part 3 of the big releases.
That's some of the big ones for me that I'm excited for as well.
The first two movies, it's really a part 1 and part 2. the way they did it. And as far as pure science fiction, it's it's honestly one of the best things that's ever been put on film as far as pure science fiction. Like, it's a huge accomplishment. It's one of those books that was always considered unadaptable.
I'm very excited for Dune 3, and the part of me that like loves movies and film, of course, is most excited for the Odyssey and for Dune 3. But in reality, I'm most excited for Spider-Man because Spider-Man's in it, and I like Spider-Man.
I mean,
And that's where we're at.
yeah, well, I talked about this with one of the Padawans. I mean, as far as like, I'm going to be there. Like, I can't wait to see Dune, but like, I'm also, I'm a simple fan sometimes, and I just want Mando and Grogu and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Give me my Star Wars and give me my Spider-Man, and I'll be happy. So hopefully they're both good.
Yeah. Even for the ones that I am kind of hesitant on, I'm still going to go into everything open-minded and hope that they're all good, because I don't want to go in and hate on something. I want something to be good, even if I have personal concerns going into it ahead of time. So,
right. All right. Does any
a couple other movies that I'll shout out. I'm looking forward to Supergirl and Clayface. I think what they're going to be doing with Clayface is going to be potentially very unique. And so I'm looking forward to seeing I'm not a big horror fan, but especially not a body horror, but I think that sort of take with Clayface could be really unique. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing with that.
I've totally forgot that existed. What an odd thing. I saw I'm excited too. I mean, it's cool that they're doing that, but like, imagine if like the third MCU movie was like what's a good analogy? What if a Sandman movie?
Oh, sure.
Like, it's like the Sandman, the Spider-Man villain. Yeah, he's getting his own movie. What?
Yeah.
What an odd thing to do.
I'm not against it, because I get the critique of that at the get-go, but now I think MCU's in the spot, though, where since they didn't spread out doing particular smaller characters, it's now like, what other big characters do you have left to really touch?
That's true. That's a good point. It's, maybe...
Also like this idea too that they've been doing of it's always about having a great script first and foremost, and that everything can stand independently on its own. So I hope that kind of helps in the long run. So yeah, we'll see.
You're right. And as a film fan, like, I just want there to be a great script and a great movie. But like, as a superhero fan, as a fan of comic books, it's like, okay, this is kind of funny. It is kind of funny to take a step back and be like, the third one, we can't figure out a Batman movie, but don't worry. We're getting Clayface. Now, I think it'll be great. I bet it'll be great. I was really excited whenever everyone at first thought the Clayface movie was going to be in the Matt Reeves universe. That was the rumor for a long time. And like, oh, that's kind of cool. No, Clay, but sure. Now, what's weird though is that he did Creature Commandos, which has Clayface in it.
Yeah,
it's like, is it that guy? Is it that one right there? Because then the way they describe the movie, this body horror thing, it doesn't necessarily fit the tone of what they did in Creature Commandos.
It's his origin story. So
okay. It's what happened before Creature Commandos. Okay,
yeah,
it's going to end with him walking into the house in Creature Commandos. We catch up to that. Okay, no, that is exciting. And Supergirl does look really great. I do think that I know that James Gunn is not directing this one. I know. But he does have a big role to play in it, and he is just making Guardians of the Galaxy again.
Coincidentally, a bunch of it did kind of look like that.
Yeah, but I do like Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm not going to complain too much. But like, okay, so there's this young adult, and they have a Walkman, and they listen to old music, and they travel through space, and they're kind of reckless, and they make wacky friends along the way and get into crazy adventures. Like, okay. Now again, I know he didn't direct.
Did they also have a terrible father?
It depends on I don't know what origin they're doing. Well, apparently in this universe, the Kryptonians were eugenicists. So yes,
Yeah. So.
yes, she did.
It's interesting. I've over the last year, I've gone back and I've been reading a bunch of the Superman like comics, like specifically John Byrne's Man of Steel, Superman's origin post Crisis, and then actually, literally, it was yesterday, day before yesterday, I finished reading the DC Finest collections, which are it's these great collections that they've been putting out of like their older stuff, and they released one on Superman that includes those first 25 appearances or 25 issues of Action Comics, but the specific Superman stories from those, as well as the first 5 issues of Superman. And it's interesting because from those classic stories, obviously that version of Superman is completely different than how we know of him now. But there's a lot of elements even from those older stories that James Gunn took into and put into his movie, which I just found really interesting. Like, for example, second issue of Action Comics, literally second ever Superman story, and it's and that is the first ever appearance of the fictional country of Barovia.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Also, the first appearance of Lex Luthor involved him inciting a war between 2 countries. And so it's interesting that there's all these plot points you're seeing that was originally done in the original Superman stories, and those just happen to be major plot points in the movie. So yeah, really cool.
That is really cool. I actually really I appreciate that a lot. And then with Supergirl, I mean, he said like, yeah, we're just doing Woman of Tomorrow from the comics. So it's like, oh, cool. So you do read them, you do care. I appreciate that.
It does.
I appreciate that. I mean, the only controversial thing from the Superman movie, I'd say, was the were his parents and their message.
And what's funny is that was taken from that Man of Steel comic, and it was like really the only time in the comics main line when they've ever really done that. But yeah, I was in the same boat though. When I first watched the movie, I was like, that's the one thing I did not like about it. Second time I watched it, I was like, oh, it's a whole theory that Lex Luthor was lying. And then James Gunn came out and said, no, it's legit. And so then I watched it again. I'm like, okay, yeah, I accepted it for what it was.
Yeah, they were trying really hard to be like, no, it's legit. Because there's even that kind of shoehorned in scene where Mr. Terrific's like, Clark, all the best analysts in the world have gone over it. It's legit. It's like, okay, that's just you trying really hard to make it clear that, yes, this is real. They could always retcon it. I don't really care if they do because they were telling a very specific story that I think worked. And you're right. Is this Man of Steel comic, is that the one where he's actually born in the pod on the way to Earth?
I don't think he's actually born in the pod. I think he's still sent off as a bit.
Okay, there's some origin that did not the Man of Steel thing, but sort of the Man of Steel thing where it's a genetic code that they put into the pod, and he wasn't actually born on Krypton, but he was born in the pod on the way to Earth through like the genetic code thing. I was just trying to remember if that was the Man of Steel one. But no, the John Byrne
one. I'm gonna look up what that is though, because I'm curious about what it is.
Yeah.
So since I've got 2 comic book readers here,
maybe it is, huh?
I
don't remember that.
Since I've got the 2 of you here, I'm going to throw this question from Nick up here on the screen because this is something I know zero about, but there are some definite concerns with Paramount taking over DC, including another possible reboot of the cinematic universe.
Sorry, I want to chime in. According to this, it's in Burns Reimagined.
Yeah.
It's sort of the Man of Steel, where Krypton is a cold, sterile society, and he is born in an artificial birthing matrix.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I just read it like not too long ago.
And his true birth occurs upon landing. Now I read this like when I was a kid. My dad had all the issues. His true birth occurs upon landing whenever the ship was incubated him and he's born. And it also focused on he is the actual sole survivor of Krypton, because before this they had done Supergirl and then the city of the city in the bottle. I forget the name. off the top of my head. Now, later they would reintroduce all that again, but what John Byrne was trying to do was just do this. And what's funny is apparently what happened there was a time when Marvel was trying to buy Superman and just Superman. And this was John Byrne's pitch of how he would introduce Superman into Marvel, which is why it focuses on he's the actual only survivor of Krypton. Anyway, sorry.
I learned recently, one of my friends that was reading a Hulk comic, I don't remember from what year it is, I think late 90s, that John Byrne was writing, and he was actually fired from Marvel after writing from that. Because he was just like really difficult to work with, and he was like trying to completely redo Hulk's origin, and Marvel was like, no, don't do this. You don't want to do this. This is like big contradictions and stuff. And so, yeah.
And then he went and redid Superman's origin. That's kind of funny. I'm sorry, Andrew, what was the question you were going to throw up before I got distracted?
What will Paramount do about DC Comics?
Well, as for comics, I don't think comics will be touched. That's always a question of when they're going to stop. Comics will keep going, but I think assuming what he means is, will they keep producing this James Gunn's DC universe?
Yeah, so I think James Gunn is out. I think that he pieces out. I don't think he's staying around.
Now, do you think that's a Paramount decision or a James Gunn decision?
I think it's a James Gunn decision. If I understand right, this gives him a loophole in any contract he has. And I think he probably pieces out.
Yeah, a little reference for the wrestling fans out there. He's about to walk back into Marvel like he's CM Punk in 2022. Okay, or 2023 now. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's quite possible. Will they continue to do his universe though? That's more likely.
Maybe and that's the question I asked. I mean, what is the likelihood of do we continue this universe, or are we looking at another reboot?
Kind of depends on how Supergirl does, I guess.
I think it does depend on that. I will personally say though too, I absolutely loved his version of Superman. Like, it is.
I agree.
I think that and the Batman are like the most authentic versions of those DC worlds that like feel like they're ripped out of the comics. And
Absolutely.
So, if they're just going to reboot it already when it was done really well, it's like, I have no reason to support this reboot. I'm also really pissed off at Paramount too for something else that they just did a couple months ago, where they decided that like, hey, apparently we're not going to do this last Ronin movie of like the best-selling comic of the last like 5 years or something crazy, and the only comic to have reached them these numbers is Absolute Batman. And they're like, yeah, let's not do a movie over this like huge success of a story, and let's instead do another live action reboot. And I'm like, I don't care about another freaking Bay Turtles that's gonna most likely not be good. And so
I don't know if you're aware of the last Ronin, Andrew, the Ninja Turtles comic, but it absolutely blew up and was one of the highest selling comics of the past like decade. Like, it was huge. And also it was excellent. And it's this idea that there's one turtle remaining.
Right. I've actually I bought one of those and got it signed, I think, at Fan Expo New Orleans last year, maybe.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. You mean, sorry for misunderstanding you, Nick. Printed comics, they don't currently make money. Yeah, but one could argue, I don't know. Warner Brothers wasn't in the comic business.
Here's the thing, though, is DC, especially over this last year, like, yeah, comics have been kind of going on a downhill slope overall, but DC has been doing really well this last year. They've been doing a bunch of smart things, and especially with their whole Absolute universe, which is like this whole darker universe reimagining of all the characters. And Absolute Batman is selling like insane. I think it's getting its 10th, 11th printing, which is like unheard of
huge
nowadays. Like, that is massive numbers, and
it's off the shelf. If you want that book, you got to get on a pull list. Like, it is blowing up, dude.
It is insane, and
so
it's so good.
You're right that like comics are going down overall, but DC has been on an upward trajectory of late. I think that they'll never stop making printed DC comics or printed Marvel comics, and that was the thing with when Disney bought Marvel. I could definitely see Paramount forcing another reboot, and DC reboots their entire universe every couple of years anyway. I think it's ridiculous and I hate it and I've ranted about it forever. I could totally see them do Paramount coming in and saying, hey, we're putting in a new editorial team in charge of the printed comics and we're doing another Crisis and we're having a fresh start again. But I don't consider it. I don't see it likely that the actual printed comics would ever be canceled. But
yeah, and that's just from a business standpoint. I would say, like, without knowing anything really about comics. I mean, my comic reading is pretty sporadic. They're buying this property in DC Comics historically is extremely successful. I don't see any reason they don't at least try to turn it around.
they're going to give it a shot. Is it in now? DC Comics is now in more danger than it's been ever.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. It is in danger. And I'm sure you're right. There are people in the boardroom in the suits going, what is this comic? What, like those funny books that they buy at the newsstand? Why are we making those? What? Or I could even see them being like, how about we just make Superman and Batman comics? Cancel everything else. We're only doing Superman and Batman. What are we doing? That's the only thing that makes us any money anyway, which that one is true, except for, and this is kind of the way that the comic market works and why they have to keep making a whole bunch of random ones, because every once in a while you get a huge hit out of nowhere, like Absolute Martian Manhunter, that for no reason, like for nothing that any suit could have predicted, has sold really well as well and actually has made money. So part of the business is you have to keep producing all these what they see as random BS comics, because you never know what's going to hit and what's going to be the big seller. So you have to, like, just like Last Ronin, where it's like you keep making these random comics that most people in the business are going to look at and go, there's no way that makes any money. And then all of a sudden it makes money. So you're like, well, I guess we got to do that again to see what hits next. That being said, yes, I could see a suit being like, the only one that has made us any money in the last decade is Batman. Why are we not just making Batman comics?
That is why a third of DC's printed comics is Batman.
Exactly.
So,
right.
And it does carry it. So you're right, Nick, that they are talking about it. They're absolutely talking about it. I don't know how much control they have. I guess that's everything. Paramount's going to own all of DC, huh? Because Warner Brothers owned all of DC.
There's a lot of things. I'm curious to see things that that Warner Brothers licensed. Specifically, the thing I'm thinking about is Lord of the Rings. If they're, I don't know, because I don't know what that contract looks like. I don't know if this sale voids the contract with the Tolkien estate, or if Paramount just like buys that licensing contract as well.
Question.
How does that affect it? Doesn't Amazon make the?
So Amazon had basically they own some rights to basically the appendices of Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Is all they bought rights to, and it's limited for this one show. Like, so once they're done with Rings of Power, they're done as far as I can tell with what they own. At that point, it should all revert back to the Warner Brothers contract.
Interesting.
And of course, Warner Brothers is off running. I mean, they had the animated movie, the Ride of the Rohirrim, or War of the Rohirrim, that came out a year ago or a year and a half ago, something like that. And then they're heading into production now on the Hunt for Gollum. So, but that's what I'm wondering. I want to know what the licensing contract looks like if this merger takes place, or does this just cut the production of this movie off before it ever gets going?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I mean, first off, it's going to take at least 6 months at the least for anything to go through. So
yeah,
everything's going to be going according to plan. And I saw that there's something about leaked audio from Zaslav's boardroom, and being something of being like, if this goes through, we at least still get a few $1 billion out of it. And so, like,
right.
It's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, it's all kind of crazy. I mean, as far as my perspective of the industry is that the theaters are still the lifeblood of the flow of money in for studios, despite the fact they've tried to push so much to streaming. And the Netflix deal was going to be, I don't care how you cut it, it was going to eventually be real bad for theaters. Paramount, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously they've got way more of an interest in theatrical stuff, but, also like this, I'm more of the opinion that some of these companies need to be busted up rather than continuing to merge. I feel like Paramount should be sold off, broken up and sold off in lots. Because it's just these companies, they're so big, and it's not that companies don't try to compete. It's that it's the same thing that happened to gaming, specifically EA being the culprit on that side. Was every time an independent gaming company had success, EA just bought them.
Yeah.
And currently, like, they're doing things like, I mean, they just contract all the small companies, which is not much better. And we're kind of in the same boat with film, where these companies are so big, these studios, that anytime somebody begins to look like they could be a threat, one of the big studios buys them out. And a lot of times you don't hear about it. They buy these small studios and shutter them because they don't really bring anything to the table.
Well, it's interesting.
So we'll see how it goes. But, my main hope, this is probably the biggest year potentially for cinemas since 2020. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff in the theater this year. It's going to be really telling as to what the overall state of theaters is.
I mean, I found it interesting too that like the idea of Warner Bros. Even getting sold when they were the most successful last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I reckon it's just the people. I was talking about this the other day too, of like, why are they selling? Like, I thought things were going pretty well. It's like, well, somebody wanted to buy it, and the people who are in charge are going to get a real fat paycheck about it,
right?
And then they get to go on about their day. So
yeah, I mean, that's at the end of the day, we knew this from the
the
moment Zaslav bought it, that what he was wanting to do was to turn around and make even more money, and it's just showing, hey, his plan is working.
Yeah,
and so.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I disagree, really the only like Warner Bros. Decision that I really agreed with him is what they did with DC Studios. Other than that, I was like, I haven't really liked anything else that he's done, except for, I guess, finally letting Coyote vs. Acme see the light of day. But
right, but he shut it down in the first place. So
yeah, he did. So it's like, I don't give him a point for that,
Yeah,
but it's just like, other than the whole DC Studios formation, it's just like I haven't agreed with anything that he's done, but at the same time, you got to commend him for a business aspect of he did what he was set out to do, and that he was smart about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're 100% right, and that's what you were saying, Andrew. Of like, we got to bust up these companies. Yeah, but I don't know what to do about it, so I'm gonna go see the movie. Because it looks good, and I'm a Cinemark Plus subscriber, so I got a movie ticket to use. So will I be sitting there going like, man, I'm so upset that all these companies are buying out each other and it's monopolies. Yeah, but like, well, I mean, I'm still at the theater though, so what am I gonna do?
All right. Well, I think that's probably a good place for us to wrap up for the night. Spencer, what have you got coming up on your channel?
Oh, let's see here. I have a review over the Energon Universe G.I. Joe Volume 1 dropping this week, as well as over the next couple of days, I'm recording some indie comic creator interviews. And so talk about some indie comics that are happening. And so make sure you go check all that stuff out. As well as a bunch of other fun comic stuff. Saturday night, I will be reviewing the next 2 episodes of Smallville on Before the Cape. I don't remember what 2 episodes, but We're in the middle of season 2 right now.
Nice.
Wow, I just looked up your channel. I just looked at your channel here, and you just posted a review of Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries. I read that like a month ago because I
Nice.
found it all. I found it bundled together, all the
Nice.
issues at a comic book store. They were like $1 an issue, and I was like, steal, dude.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is a steal right there. I would have gotten that.
It was an absolutely incredible miniseries. So
Yeah, it was a good read. I just took a break from it a couple weeks ago, but I've been trying to go through and reading like a big Claremont reading order, but
yeah,
I'm getting
That's
heavy into it since October.
quite the tackle, dude.
I was about to say, I since going heavy at it since late October, I
Yeah.
was like, I need a break because it's so much.
The first Comic-Con I went to like 10 years ago, Chris Claremont was there. And at the time, I was like a child who like didn't understand how big of a deal it was that I was meeting Chris Claremont. And he has not been back to the one in New Orleans around here since. It's like every year I pray when I open up the thing that's like he's here. I just wish I could go back in time and like slap myself. I'm like, you are speaking to greatness. And to me, it's just some guy that my dad is like a big fan of. But
Sure.
anyway, so.
I just realized I guess I made it look like I was talking Muppets on purpose tonight.
Dr. T.
That's funny.
But yeah, so speaking of, since you mentioned it, independent comics, our friend Danny from Comics and sort of has a comic in it's not Kickstarter, but it's a crowdfunding.
Patreon and whatnot.
Yeah, it's also on her Patreon, and she's working on getting her comic book done. So that's awesome. If you like supporting independent artists, go check her out because she's good at what she does. So I'm kind of excited to see what she comes up with. David, we got to get back in the in and record some podcasts.
Yeah. Did you ever release that one where we talked about right after Rob Reiner passed away? We talked about his movies.
I think it should be up.
Okay, awesome. I need to check out that one. But then then we officially are behind. Then we need to get back in there. Absolutely.
We'll get back in. As mentioned the last couple of times I've been on, Marisha is going to work on a movie, so she probably won't be back till May. So I've got time, so we'll definitely get in the studio and record.
Awesome.
So
all right, I'll hit you up. I as for what's going on with me, whatever's on this channel, you're here. You made it. You're a big fan
Awesome.
of me. If you like listening to me, you found the place.
well, you're always. I need to get you on here more with me doing YouTube stuff because I'm trying to get.
I'll go find the camera, and then I need to set up a nice background so you aren't just looking at my bird. Actually, that's not that bad, actually.
A bird's not a bad
I
background.
don't think y'all would mind just looking at my bird behind me the whole time.
No, I want to know about your bird.
There's a cockatiel named Beebs. He's a cute guy. He's running around. He forgets he has wings, so he climbs around his cage the whole time.
Adorable.
Anyway,
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. So be sure to check out the rest of the Red 5 Podcast Network at bio.link/Red5. And until next time, may the force be with you.